Hmm. I cannot see. Hello, hello. Hi. I just decided to come and do a live reading this evening. I've been struggling with something. As you can see, my eyes are swollen and red and puffy. And apparently I'm having some major allergic reaction to something in the environment, which if you live in the United States, especially on the East Coast of the United States, you may know exactly what I'm talking about. Yes, I have a chemical burn in my eyes and down my face. My poor grandson, who's only a year and a half, has a rash all over his body. We definitely have been exposed to some toxic material in the air, unfortunately, and it's really caused some delays in my life because of my vision. It's been very hard to see, but I'm here. Yeah, well, actually, I was upstate Pennsylvania. I am Pennsylvania. I was upstate where my son and daughter-in-law and grandson live. And during that time where they began to do the burn off of the chemical, and the wind, we were tracking the wind. Are you in PA as well? Yeah. We were tracking the wind. It didn't hit us right away. It took a few days before the reactions really got bad. And we had to really I had to rule out pink eye and viruses and all these. So I had to go through the medical community and try all these different medications until it was finally, my doctor was like, yeah, this is not pink eye. This is not a virus. This is not anything like that. This is exposure to something pretty bad. So another reason why I wanted to just come on live, I have it documented now with my doctor, which is nice. My grandson is having allergy tests, a full panel allergy tests done tomorrow morning. So sending prayers out for him, because I know that that's painful testing, especially for such a young child. But we have to go through these things to rule out all the other stuff. Anyway, yes, thank you. Thank you so much. And, pay attention to what your body is telling you and showing you, because I think a lot of people are having these odd symptoms that they may be just chalking up to allergies or being sick. And right now it's important for as many people to document what is happening to their physical body through this, because you don't know how far the wind carries these chemicals. I mean, it doesn't stay in one spot, And my heart goes out to all the people who live close to that site as well. So bringing up, I'm just going to start. It's just you and me right now, and that's fine with me. Bringing up some of the astrology, it's been hard for me to follow it as in depth as I usually do. Number one, because I couldn't see for a while very clearly at all. But I'm slowly starting to heal that, and slowly starting to be able to see a little clearer anyway. Still blurry, but a little clearer. Today's strong astrological aspects that we're dealing with, I would say that we are experiencing. Well, we have that new moon in Pisces, and the sun is now in Pisces. So definitely some how do I word it? Some fantastical, beautiful energy with that, along with some, we've got a lot of trickster energy. I like to call it trickster energy, Mercury. Mercury is in a trine to Mars, which really has us a little more bold and ready to express or say what's on our mind. So be mindful of like aggressive expression, but this is also a nice energy to like get up and go, express yourself type of thing. If there's something that you've been needing to get off your chest or express or say, this is a good time to do it. Just be mindful of the energy behind that. If there's a lot of anger or just pent up, repressed energy, you might want to kind of sit with yourself first before you just, go out and say it all. But it is an important time to really say what you need to say with that energy. Mercury is also in a square to Uranus, and as Uranian energy, that's been pretty potent through this new moon as well. It's always unexpected events, well, these are sudden, unexpected insight with Mercury, sudden like light bulb moment. Aha, I get it. It's clicking in. And it can be channeled along the lines of a little more on the eccentric side, because there's so much going on there, especially with the trine to Mars. So again, if people are not totally making sense, or they're sort of just all over the place, then this is most likely why. So just keep an eye out for that energy as well. Mercury is also still in a sextile to Chiron, highlighting our wounded parts, highlighting parts of ourselves that have been hidden. So uncovering certain issues that we have, childhood wounds even, that have been hidden. And it's really making our patterns of behavior more conscious, more bringing that unconscious to the light of consciousness. And then the moon is in a conjunction to Neptune. Moon is still currently in Pisces as I'm doing this reading, where a lot of people are a lot more tuned into the cosmic awareness. Our intuition is heightened. We're also extremely sensitive to other people's energy on the positive and negative side of that. So be aware of that as well. So we're going to get into the reading. I think hopefully I have an okay connection. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Okay. Hopefully you can hear me. Just going to go ahead and read. I'm not even going to pay attention right now to any comments or the screen. It's really hard to see anyway. So let me just call in the guides. See what needs to come through for all of us at this time. And I really do want to slow down my energy as well. So don't mind me. I'm going to light some Palo Santo real quick. I think this will help. It's been a little while since I've done a reading. It's been a while since I've done a live reading. And yeah, we just want to make sure that we're reading through clear energy here. All right. So we're going to get into it. This is a collective reading, just random. And if you guys are out there, let me know. I'll peek up and take a look at the comments every now and then. Reading for the collective. All right, our first card is gratitude. I'm thankful for this life and the opportunities that it presents. Funny enough, this message came to me earlier today. You may find that, especially with the Chiron activity, that you're getting triggered in the last day or two. I know I had my moment today briefly, just really bringing up old things that still get to you, you know. But ultimately, when I had this happen, I had to bring myself back, ground myself, bring myself back to myself, basically, and be grateful for this life, for the challenges, for the lessons, for everything that is presented. And that's a really hard place to be sometimes, especially when you are going through some intense challenges. And you know, it's like we're not down, but we're already sensitive. Sensitive is a good word, especially with Neptune also working with the moon. We're sensitive, and we're sensitive to other people's energy. It's hard when you're constantly being poked, and you know, it's like pouring salt in the wounds right now. So gratitude is sometimes a hard energy to get to, but it is definitely worth it when you can get there, because that opens you up to receiving more supportive energy, more support from the universe, from your guides, anything outside of yourself, basically. I feel like also a lot of people that are going through the ascension or awakening process. There's been a lot of the dark night of the soul energy going on through January and even into this month. I've noticed, I've witnessed, and I've felt it. I felt it in the collective energy. It's funny that love came out next. But as people begin to awaken and their consciousness and bring in more light to of their own, connecting to more of their light, the shedding of the old, the shedding of the shadow, the shedding of the dark energy, darker energy, which is just energy. We all have light, dark. It's opening people up. It's opening our hearts up. It's opening us up to recognizing what's truly important. Opening up to love. I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. This has been a test and a challenge as well for those of us who are light workers. If you consider yourself a light worker, a starseed, someone who holds the light, who carries the light, our commitment to that path is constantly being tested, as you are aware of. And that's where it always comes back. Even if we're triggered, even if we feel these certain, you know, injustices and things that really, really get to us, it's a hard practice, but it's an important practice. Gratitude and committing to seeing the good, the divine in all things. And this came through in a couple of the zodiac readings I did last week. It's a message that I constantly woke up to for a few months last year. It was just a reminder. Remember, that I see the light and the dark. I see both in myself, in everyone and everything. So when I commit to seeing the divinity in all things, it truly does. It helps me, but it does more than just help me. It helps the others. That it's not that I'm going and changing people's energy, but it really does, in subtle ways, it makes a difference. I really feel like this is a message for light workers, for those of us who do commit to a path of, walking in love, living through the heart. Imagination. I embrace and nourish the creative aspect of my mind. Now this is the most important energy to pay attention to, because have you ever been made fun of or told you have an overactive imagination, or you're just imagining things, all those things that can be triggering as well, right? Our imagination is powerful. That's a portion of what we use to generate what we manifest. So don't let go of your imagination, and don't let anybody fool you of telling you that you're in your mind, you're just imagining, you have an overactive imagination. Use that to your advantage. That is important. And yes, of course, the loneliness card is on the bottom, which has been showing itself for the last few weeks in all readings that I've been doing. It almost seems as though it's an epidemic of sorts. And I can attest to this, I do have a lot of beautiful people in my life. However, to find other souls walking this planet who are an energetic match, who just get you for you, is rare, and we do have connection. We find connection from time to time, but then we separate and come back together, and it goes in cycles, right? So don't let that get to you. Know that you are never alone. This can be part of our shedding of the old. A lot of times we do have to do certain phases of the journey solo. Let's keep going though. Oh, all right. So Spirit's saying gratitude, love, and imagination. These are important reminders for us while we're going through some challenging times. Purging the old. There's a lot of purging going on. There's, anytime Chiron is highlighted, especially with Mercury, we're getting a good dose of our repressed, suppressed childhood wounds that operate, especially Mercury and Mars, that have been operating beneath the surface, unconsciously in our blind spots, that that are connected to certain behavior patterns that we have, especially when we get triggered. Like, who do you become? I know with me, like, I have a tough time with anger. Anger is what comes up with me, and I have to sit with that. And I have certain tools, but sometimes, it can really pull me outside of even myself, my body, and I know my patterns. I know where I can go at times as well. And that's the name of the game, right? Is know yourself. Know all of yourself. Embrace all those parts of yourself. Because when they're unconscious, when we're not unaware of these aspects of ourselves, they can really be taken over by other energies, other people, other entities even. We have dependability. That's interesting. This card came out earlier for me in a reading. And how I'm reading this is dependability towards self and our path. We're constantly being pulled back. If you've noticed, the ebb and flow of the energy, or the pendulum, so to speak, We get pulled into our destiny, our destined path, but then we also have another energy, another current that pulls us back towards our past self. And it's up to us to understand when that happens, and even when we get off track, because that's how we learn. That's how we learn how to navigate these energies, the stream of consciousness. Also, I'm getting, and being grateful for this life. That's another word that's coming up through relationships. Are your relationships dependable? Do you have people in your life that you can depend on and rely on? Are you dependable? You guys hear me okay? I didn't check my volume. I hope that it's up. My heater just turned off, so that's good. And we have security. Yes, all right, thank you. We have security with love. This came up for me today too as a channeled message for myself. Do you trust when, oh, hi Paula, do you trust when someone says that they love you? Do you trust that that's true? And do you feel safe and secure enough to allow yourself to love and be loved, to open up and be vulnerable and transparent to love? It is a security issue. Because ultimately, you know, the difference between lust and love is, well, there's a lot there, but lust is more of a selfish energy, which is okay, but a lot of people equate lust with love, and it is not the same energy at all. It's a lot more safe and secure to have lust towards someone, and it doesn't even have to be sexual lust, but lust like, yeah, I really like that, there's something about this person, their dynamic that really, like, yeah, I lust them. But that's, they use the word love, but is it, or is it just a magnetic pull that's very strong? Well, let's see what you're saying. It depends what energy I feel from someone. Many people hide who they are. Yep. And that's exactly it. That's that dependability. Can you depend? Like, there you go. I had this experience today myself, and it happens with people that we think we know them, but they constantly are shape-shifting. And it's like, can I actually depend on like you to be the you that I know you are? You know what I mean? And that's a tricky situation. That's definitely in the energy, in the experiences, for sure. It's nice to have these experiences with people, but we're at a point now where we want to know, can I actually rely on this person, on this experience? What is happening? Am I being fooled? Am I being tricked? If it doesn't feel secure, we have to question ourselves, question the entire situation. I know that's been my biggest thing, is trust. When I allow someone into my life, into my space, into my heart, I trust the divine energy. I trust them. But when they show me what not to trust about them, I have to trust that too. Do you know what I mean? Do you understand what I'm saying? Loyalty, personal growth. That's another word. Do we trust that the people in our lives that we allow, that we bring into our life, is that a loyal connection? Do we have to even think about that? Because if we have to even think about that, there's a good question there. Most of the times we use our imagination when it comes to relating to other people, because people show us their soul self or their divine self, and we go for that. And then they also show the other parts, which are the red flags that we sweep under the rug a lot of times because we're just too engaged in this soul self, right? We use our imagination to build people up into and mold them into who we think that they could potentially become, right? But if they're not showing you all of that, we do have to trust that as well, and honor that. You know, be grateful for where everyone is at, and basically that's it. It's like where people are at on their path, and it's no judgment, but we have to turn it around at certain times, because there's a bunch of us on the planet that are like, where'd everybody go? Where are my connections? Like, where are the connections that I can depend on? Where are the loyal connections, and or the secure and loyal connections? Well, for the last few years, we've been really given the time to actually make ourselves our best friend, the one that we can always rely on, the one that we're safe and secure with and loyal to self. So once we get all of that, then we can really attract others into our field that are of like energy. We have personal growth at the bottom, which is telling me that we're all going through a big lesson. Like, we're in earth school, right? So this is like a hard class that we've been going through, especially when it comes to relating to other people, because that fell right below the loneliness card. Personal growth. Blame is below that too. And I had a touch of that briefly, and I'm just going to be 100% honest. You know, when I get triggered, it pulls me out of my element, and then I have to reel it back in and see, like, all right, yep, I turned around, I blame this person, I don't trust this person. It brings up all of these insecurities and childhood wounds within me. That's been my experience this week, along with, we'll just call it environmental factors that are extremely challenging to not only my health, but the health of my grandson is the one that I'm the most concerned with. And of course, all the other people, animals, plants, everything that's affected by the toxicity. It's just horrible. All right, let's keep going. I think I missed a comment. Root chakra. Emotional loss, suffering in silence. This pretty much just spells out everything that I was saying. Because when we do get triggered by another, and when we don't feel like we can depend on or rely on somebody, that maybe it's all talk, words, but there's no action to back it up, right? Let's see here. Where are the comments? Oh, okay. Yes, that's where I'm at now. If someone isn't real, then I must back away. Totally understand. That one really pissed me off. Oh no, you're safe to say whatever you want to. You're good. Yeah, so going back to dependability, there are, and now I'm reading this because the universe is good. The guides are really saying, be grateful for these lessons, because regardless how they feel right now, they will make sense down the road too. It's really trying to open our eyes to something that we weren't picking up before. But these triggers from other people that can really bring us, leave us ungrounded, right? Pull us into our childhood wounds, our emotional losses, the things that are unmet needs, even throughout life. And then also pointing out to us then when we realize that I didn't realize I had so much suppressed emotion about whatever that is affecting you. For me, again, it was trust. dependability. I actually get really tired of people wanting to compete with me. I'm like, where does that come from? Because I'm not even a competitive person. I don't understand it. It took me a long time to understand. Suffering in silence. And this is definitely, I relate to the suffering in silence as well, because then you don't feel like it doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't matter what I say, because they're only going to hear what they want to hear. They're not going to hear me anyway. I'm not heard. I'm not seen, I'm not heard. And so I'm going to keep it to myself. This is a childhood wound of mine that continues to replay in my adulthood that I'm very aware of. I'm tired of it coming back up because it's like, okay, I get you. I'm not going to suffer in silence anymore. I want to stand my ground and speak my mind, speak what is in my heart, in my mind. I'm not fully trusting that it's going to be received. And so what do? Well, I hold it in and suffer in silence. So I feel like this is a good time right now with, which one was it? Okay. Well, all of the energy, actually. Mercury's very busy right now. This is a good time to say what you need to say, but be mindful of that aspect to Mars, because if it comes out with a lot of aggressive energy behind it, backing it up, no matter how you say it, you can say it all nice and pretty, but if there's a lot of aggressive energy internalized, that's how it's going to be received, regardless. Just warning you there. But it is important that we do express what it is that we need to express and not hold it in. Because the other people actually may get some aha moments or insight from what it is that we have to say. It's just really, how do we say it without placing blame? We don't want to blame. And there we're tempted to, because it, on the outside, on the surface, it feels like someone's trying to hurt us or trying to insult or put you down or blame, and so we're tempted to turn around and do the same thing. There's that's along with security and love. It's like, I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe to say what I need to say in a peaceful, loving way. If that's the case, then maybe wait until your energy shifts, until we clear out whatever clutter it is that we're meant to see within ourselves. Yeah. Okay. No, it's definitely, the topic is definitely with our partnerships and alliances. So our relationships to other people. And it's still falling underneath the loneliness card here with personal growth. So we are learning. We are learning about ourselves through other people. It's not been fun for many of us, but there is hope. There is hope. I'm going to get a couple more cards, but it's interesting that hope fell underneath imagination and loyalty. So you remember what I was talking about, seeing the divine, seeing the divinity in everyone. I'm going to get a couple more cards on that, because that is interesting. And I'm not picking up anything right off the bat. I'm picking up a few things. One is, we do have the ability to turn the energy around, and we've done that. But then it's like, I was just saying this to a friend this morning. It's like a fan, like a floor fan or whatever. And it's plugged in and it's going around and around and around. Think of that as the thoughts in the mind, or just the spinning out of energy. When you unplug that fan, there's still some momentum in the fan, but it starts to slow down. Eventually it stops and it's still. right? That's that energy of like, we can change the energy dynamic between ourselves and another in that moment. But then say they go back to their other environment or wherever else they go and do, they're plugging the fan back in and it starts spinning back up all over again. And so it's like constantly changing. So it's like, where do your loyalties lie, you know? But we do have that power within our imagination to see the potential in others. Now, I've been strictly warned for years now because that has always been what I've done in my life with marriages, partners, friends. I see the potential and I hold so tightly to that potential, the possibilities. And sometimes they show me, but it's never fully followed through. It's never fully executed. So to not trust the potential, basically the message that I was getting is like, you deserve more than just a potential. And I get it. I got to give that to myself too, So hold that hope in your imagination of what the perfect partner, friend, connections that we desire. Because this journey is too intense to walk it alone. We're not meant to walk it alone. Oh, I just got a hot flash. I haven't had one of those in a while. Definitely, we're learning a lot of personal growth through these lessons that we're getting through others. For sure. And we also know what we want now, right? As I said, the moon. Well, we're getting an idea as to what we want. We may not fully know, but we know what we don't want, right? After all this, we know what we don't want. We're getting to learn what we want as well as our hidden, unconscious, subconscious patterning and wounds within us are being revealed in the light of the moon through some of these triggerings, through some of these things. Yeah, I appreciate honesty. I don't want to walk alone, but I can, but prefer not to. Yeah, same. And I've been witnessing and experiencing others really coming forth and being very open and honest, but then still going back into the abyss. And it's like, where did you go? What happened? And so I feel like that's what a lot of us are experiencing right now with other people. It's very interesting. Try not to take it personal, though. Really, we are not alone in that. It's personal growth, but don't take it personally. Okay. Ace of Emotions, 7 of Emotions, and the World with love. So with the universe, what we're really being shown here when it comes to love, when it comes to opening our heart and keeping our heart open for others, it requires, having some trust in the universe, in life itself, and opening our hearts to love again. This speaks of fresh new way of feeling. Well, it's hard for us to force a feeling. We can't really force a feeling, but we have to kind of weed back through all the fish in the sea that we've dealt with so far, and what was helpful, what was hurtful, understand how we've connected and related to other human beings on this planet from day one. The world speaks of completion of cycles, and this cycle is coming to an end very soon. This cycle also asks us to embody and integrate the lessons that we've learned so far into our day-to-day. When we get triggered by something, not to get tempted into just going red and like going back into old patterns, basically. When you're aware of the behavior patterns that we all possess, that's the first step. And you may even like take the first step back into an old pattern. But once you're there, you're like, catch myself, and then breathe. Really just breathe. Like, oh, I almost went back into an old pattern. I've done this so much in the last couple of weeks. It's crazy. I'm like, oh, I almost, we kind of like get triggered into unconsciousness for a moment. But the ultimate thing is to trust love, trust our love, trust our heart. That it is safe to love. Whoa, the Fool. Let's see what fell on the floor. 2 of Cups at the bottom. And the Wheel. Wow, okay. Strong message. It keeps coming. Trust that there is good coming. Trust that there is loyalty coming. Trust that there is security coming. Trust that there is dependability coming. Trust that a lot of the things we've gone through so far is for our own personal growth. And we can take that wisdom, that medicine with us moving forward, because there is something new that's coming. We got the World and the Wheel of Fortune back to back. I got the chills now. Hot flash to chills. We are walking out of this old cycle into a brand new start, a brand new cycle. Trust what you've learned. Embody that medicine. Be loyal to yourself. Be loyal to your imagination. Know the lessons you've learned. Live them. Honor them. Definitely has to do with love, connection, heartfelt connection. We have strength below that. And 8 of Emotions below that. Walking away from the dark emotions, walking away from the woe is me, the anger. It really did happen. All of these things really did happen. We got to feel our feels to understand what's being shown, why things are really truly happening for us to see within ourselves. Does not excuse other people's behavior at all. Yet we can elevate ourselves to a point of not placing blame, not judging the others, knowing they're going through their own journey. They may not be aware of it. They may flail around a lot, but let them. That's their journey. Show yourself all these things first. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, whoops. Yes, 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 yes. Be loyal to self. Absolutely. 1,000%. And that's, again, why personal growth came out underneath loneliness, because myself included, we keep looking to others outside of ourselves to come maybe even just emotionally rescue us from ourselves, from our journey, from our pain. The other thing I was just reminded of, thank you, Paula, of talking about with this, and I'm going to keep pulling cards as I do, is, when we meet people that we're meant to meet, these really intense and deep soul connections, these connections where we feel we know we've known each other before, right? And it's a beautiful energy where it just like lifts you up like you're a child again, and you have this childlike wonder with life, and you're both reading each other's minds and all of this stuff. Those people also, and we get into this bubble, this bubble of love, and like we're connected and we can take over the world kind of thing. But at the same time, this person does reveal their shadow, their issues, their traumas, their pain. And so when we get dropped back down to earth out of that nebulous bubble of love with these people, we really start to see the other side of them. And it's almost as if we're repelled. Like we repel each other. Suddenly we don't connect at all. There's a lot to be learned through all of that. But at the same time, what I had picked up, what I had recognized in myself, because this other person divulged their trauma, their history, their pain in some way, shape, or form. They may not even remember that they did that, but because they have in the past, we find ourselves so fixated on that person, and they're hurting, they're in pain, they're doing this because of their childhood wounds, that it was unfair, and we're not even looking at ourselves. We're not even going through our healing journey. We're so fixated on the other person because we want to fix them so that they can come back and be with us, so we can be back in that bubble again, right? And that is not how it's supposed to go. But the trick is that we neglected to look at ourselves and walk our path, because this other person gave us, they handed us their pain. They handed us on a silver platter their trauma, their energy. Take it. And we did. We took it, we rubbed all over it, and it's like we can't not think about that person now. They constantly come back. Their pain constantly comes back. We're analyzing their journey, totally neglecting ours, totally neglecting our healing journey. How many of you has this happened to? I can guarantee it's probably everybody watching this video. It's a trap, it's a trick. Not to say the person is a trap or trick, but the way that they hand over their crap to us. And we take it on and neglect ourselves. Live and learn. Yeah. It's a tough one though, because the energy is so potent. It's so strong. I mean, it affects the dream state. It affects our waking state. It affects our synchronicities will go off. And you're like, well, it's meant to be because of all of these synchronicities and signs. And yeah, a lot of that energy is reading you because you're carrying this other person's energy with you. We carry their energy. Let's keep going. I want to make that clear, though. It's very important that we let go of their energy. It's not ours to carry. It's not ours to fix. It's not ours to manage. We can give it back. You don't have to personally give it back to them, but you can just really give it back to the universe. I don't want this anymore. I want to focus on me. I want to focus on my journey. I want to focus on my path. Eventually, it will break the cycle. Ace of Wands. We're about ready to clear the board here. New insight, new ideas, new possibilities. Where are we going with Ace of Wands? Oh, gratitude. Yeah. Okay. We're clearing the board. I just got a message to clear the board. But what I just said, all of that is a new perspective on the lovers, on the twin flame journey, on the soul connection, on the soul mirroring connection. You can see how red my face is. It's all burnt. It's crazy. I'm clearing the board here because there's a whole nother message that's coming through now. We're going to get into it. Why not? For any of you who don't know what I'm talking about, please let me know. I can explain deeper. These are definite I had a feeling that we were going to go here. Did I lose anybody? Oops. Live and learn. Yeah. Yeah, so then we find ourselves in that whole runner-chaser thing, which I don't even like those analogies because it truly isn't. I mean, I guess in a way it's true. It's all in perspective, right? This message here already is talking about having a new perspective, a new idea. I'm hearing a new idea about the lovers, about these deep soul connections. They truly are real. We try to trick ourselves sometimes because it's so painful when we separate. It's so painful that you just want to tell yourself that actually didn't. You can't. No matter what you do, you can't escape it. But what you can do is give them their energy back. Give them their pain back. Not in a harmful way, but energetically to the universe. This is not mine to carry. This is too heavy, too deep to carry. I need to focus on me, my journey. Just, yeah, like you said, Paula, definitely. We are getting a whole new, upgraded perspective. Having the courage to move on. Having the courage to overcome these challenges, to overcome the barriers that have been set in place. And mostly it is just recognizing, like, yeah, I put way too much focus on this other person, not enough focus on me. And I see that turning around. It's turning around within the collective, which is beautiful. Wheel of Fortune again. Something about the Pisces sun between March and April. March is going to be big changes energetically. And I feel like even towards the end of this week, we're going to start to see tangible evidence of these changes. Karmic cycle ending. Yes, exactly. Bring it, March. It's exactly karmic cycle ending. But there's going to be a break in the energy like tomorrow could be also a bit challenging energetically, and everybody picks up energy different, so time's not linear either, but we do have cycles of energy, so they only last for so long, and then we move on to the next cycle. We're definitely ending a karmic cycle for sure, which when we come up to the end, before we switch over energy, that's when it's presented to us in a hardcore way. Like if we haven't fully healed or acknowledged or recognized certain parts in us that we needed to, it's going to come full force at us at the very end. Super tired and brain foggy. Yes. And I thought for me it was just the chemical burn, but it is also, there's vertigo, that plus we've had X-class flares from the sun. The sun literally shot off a giant piece of itself, a coronal mass ejection, a CME, over the weekend, and those solar storms are still coming in. They're coming in like wildfire. From yesterday to today, there was another one, so back to back. We have a lot of that energy coming in. It's powerful, it's potent, but it's draining our bodies. I keep getting the health card over when I do my personal readings for myself. So it's like, pay attention to your health. But back to this whole, because we're on this connections, whole connections. I don't even like to use the word twin flame because it's been so distorted for years. The Empress, the Devil, Prince of Swords, Seven of Cups, Four of Cups. Well, so the Empress meets the Devil, right? Divine feminine energy. Oh, yes. This also speaks of our mother wounds are coming up for healing. So a lot of people might be experiencing that too. Just the healing of the feminine alone, because it's been so imbalanced in this world for so long. How the feminine has been held back, shamed, blamed, and persecuted for just her natural state of being for so long. This is all coming up. Ooh, big time. So you may actually, what I'm getting with the Prince of Swords is other people are becoming aware of this, consciously aware of their behavior, of their words, their beliefs and opinions and judgments towards this in the past. This is what's changing. This is what's coming. And then we've got the Seven of Cups. Look at that. So these are people who had deep mother wounds. It's coming all together now. I'm not going to put men in the category, but it's masculine. People who carry dominant masculine energy. Most of them have deep mother wounds. And their outlook on the feminine, the females, have been distorted and darkened. And that is clarity that is coming to the surface for these people. And they're realizing their pain, that they have missed out. They have been in need of nurturing, mothering, caring, the mother, the feminine, and have dishonored the feminine energy. And look at him. He's just like, please, forgive me. Yeah, someone is really, really hard up on, and you can see in the background, there's the love, but they're also deeply recognizing where they have gone wrong. And here we are at this energy now. I don't know what to do with myself. I don't know what to do with this. I'm embarrassed. I'm ashamed. I don't know how to move on from here. I should know better. Each time I do random readings, this is usually what comes up, which is good because I have this in my energy field as well, in my experience. Ooh, okay. There's a lot of pain going on for these people right now. This is definitely karma. But they are being really hard on themselves mentally. Really hard on themselves. And these are all the dark thoughts. These are all the things that plague them are coming up to be revealed. This is also just like losing your mind. Like completely, I've lost my mind. Rock bottom in the mind. Just going crazy. Yeah, you see it. You can see it. I know. It's crazy. Yep. Well, tell us more. We have 3 of of Swords, heartache, pain, betrayal. See, the wheels have turned. How they treated us and others, the feminine, is now how they are being treated. And it doesn't feel very good. It's actually driving them to insanity. And they're carrying a lot of burden with them. A lot. It's too heavy. They're like on their knees. And then we have the Magician. They actually have manifested this karmic return. Like it's turned around onto them. So weird. My throat just started getting really sore. I'm going to go onto a new deck. All right. 4 of Wands in reverse, 6 of Pentacles. Unhappy, at home, out of balance. Not connected. 6 of Pentacles with the Tower on the bottom. They were focused more on themselves, materialistically. Like, look what I have. Look what I can do. I've got all these pentacles. It makes me so happy, but they realize it doesn't. You know, money doesn't make you happy. Status doesn't make you happy. It does, it can temporarily. You know, your things. Eventually that comes down crashing on you. Whew. Super unhinged individuals right now. Seeing it big time with others. Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely, this is definitely, I love this card because it's so dramatic, but that's unhinged right there. Unhinged. All of these cards, it's like, yuck. But I feel like they've gone through this before. This time it's, I think each time we go and repeat cycles, when we haven't learned our karma, when we haven't learned our lessons and we repeat them, they get harder and harder and harder and more intense. And eventually you realize you're like, what am I doing? You know, we've all been there. I'm one, like, I'll give people like a million, I won't say a million. I'll give you 100 chances to try again, to get it right. And that 101 time, it's like, no, done, 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 done. I mean, that's the old me. I certainly won't go to 100 chances anymore. I had to ask myself, why do I do that? Well, I guess there's fear of being alone or abandoned or, you know, all those childhood wounds I have inside of me. All right. Last messages, please. And I'm going to pull from the Starseed Oracle when we're done here. Four of Crystals. So again, they're sitting with themselves, contemplating everything. Just kind of like, now what do I do? Where do I go from here? Because I don't think that there's a lot of avenues. It's either go back to the karmic wheel again or step into the unknown. And you would be surprised how many people are terrified of the unknown. Even though that's the glory, that's the place to go. That's where we can use our imagination to create whatever it is that we want to experience and live and do, have, be. I'm living proof of it. For myself. And I do send a lot of compassion and love and light out to all of these people, because we also have to remember that we were not always awake and conscious. And yes, we were also not as disrespectful and disgusting to other people as we have had done to us. Yet, we've had our own run of parts of ourselves playing out in ways. I mean, I think back, I look at pictures. It's a great way to go down memory lane and look at pictures of yourself in the past. And I'm like, who was I? Who was that? Seriously, I don't even know, like, because energies will take over certain times of our life, certain stages of our life, and we think that's who we are. We think that's what... It's interesting, this life. I'll tell you what. 10 of crystals. Give me a couple more on this. These cards are so hard to shuffle. Why the 10 of crystals? Bottom of the deck is karma. Okay, let's see what came out. Oh, wow. Okay. So they were focused too much on their material world, on getting whatever it is that they wanted at that time, at this time. It's always about me. It's always selfish. Like, let me, like, constantly chasing things that that end up not working out for them, really. But ultimately in their head, it was like, if I can just get this amount of money, if I could just get these people in my life, or I could just get whatever, then I'll be set. Then I'll be, you know, it's always, and so that I can. They were never living their truth authentically in the present. They're getting a good dose of reason. The reasons why things happen the way they happen. The reasons why they act the way they do. There's also this portal, this window, energetic window, opening an opportunity for new, something new, a new start. We have these all the time. If you don't take advantage of them, that's okay. There'll be more, but it's always great to take advantage of some new opportunity, new start, right? Divine justice is basically where I'm going with this. There's an opportunity for divine justice, for balance. Will they take it? Will we take it? Well, it requires some strength, all right? It requires strength, taming that ego, taming that inner beast, courage to jump into the unknown. Courage to jump into the unknown. And really play with life. Live life truthfully, authentically, honestly. Karma, what's below karma? 10 of flames. So this is where I feel some people are at. That are, they're partially awake. They're partially conscious. They're shutting down a lot of things. But you know what? I think a lot of them have had enough. They're going back down into the depths of themselves, into their basement, probably after going rock bottom or crazy in the mind, to retrieve and recover some lost soul parts of themselves, some just suppressed energies, suppressed parts of themselves. So let's get a message for us. We've peeked into the other side, which I did collectively last week. The collective reading came up as, there are people that are still migrating back to the dark. They come up. They have a lot of things enlightened. They're more aware, yet they go back to the old familiar. It's patterns, it's habits and patterns. So give us some advice for this time, please. I'll try to read. I just realized the book. I hope I can read it out of the book. If not, we'll intuitively read the card. I love the messages in this Starseed Oracle. First card out, we have Portal. Doors are opening. You decide. Rewards, wild card. So yeah, and we do. We're in this portal. It is our choice. It's always a choice. We always have a choice. And the other card, fall into my arms. Surrender. Holding the opposites. Extremes of life. Let's read that one first. Wow, okay. I've never seen this card, by the way. I've had this deck for a few years now. All right, fall into my arms. Can you see that? The Great Mother ushered you in when you took your first breath, and she'll be there when you draw your last. She knows how challenging life can be, that being human can be lonely and confusing, that the polarity and separation can be excruciating when your soul remembers the oneness of Source. But at the same time, it can be incredibly glorious and sweet. So often, we see things as either good or bad. When things go well, we make it mean that we're being rewarded. And when things are bad, then perhaps we've done something wrong. However, we're all here to expand and grow, and it's through the extremes of life that we do exactly that. You're being invited to welcome the highs and the lows of the human experience, to let them initiate you more fully into life. The agony and the ecstasy, the beauty and the bitterness. This life is but a single breath in the inextinguishable existence of your experience as a soul. The Great Mother wants you to hand over your loneliness, worries, hurt, sorrow, fears, burdens, and doubts, to lay them on her altar, to fall fully into her arms, to remember that while these extremes are difficult, they can also be magnificent. The more wildly the pendulum of your life swings, the more truthfully you can say, I've truly lived. Wow, I have the chills from that one. And let's read Portal. I know, wow, right? All right, Portal. Doors are opening for you. Your thoughts are extra powerful for you right now. That was that imagination card, by the way. Just want to bring that up. Your thoughts are extra powerful for you right now. Planets are aligning. The timing is right. The universe is saying, yes, you have the Midas touch. Your hard work is being rewarded. This is a time when you can reap the rewards for your efforts made in the past. It's also a time when you can achieve a lot. Great leaps can be made. Extreme transformation can occur. Great distances can be traveled in a short space of time. You're swimming with the cosmic currents of life. What experience would you like to have? What do you want to create? What new adventure would you like to manifest? Don't lose focus. Use this moment in time wisely. Be conscious and clear with your emotions and thinking. Projects that you've been working on are coming to fruition. Things are in full bloom. It's time to take your harvest and taste your well-earned fruits. When this card comes up in a spread, it's a sure sign that effortless change is possible. If you've been looking for a sign, this is your portal into that new reality. Now is the time to make big changes. If you've been guided to switch up things, you're extremely well supported right now. Use this energy and jump right on in. Well, I must say, those are some powerful cards. And there is definitely an opening. It is our choice as well as everybody else's choice as to what we're going to do with these windows of opportunities. And I will say that I have quite a few projects that I've begun in the last 2 weeks that started off very challenging. And I'm happy to say, even though I'm battling with my eyes and other things, that these projects are starting to really take off and bloom and blossom in beautiful ways. So I'm here to tell you, this is a good time to start your whatever it is new for you. Be a new healthcare regime, be a new project, new relationship, a new whatever. Be good to you. We have to be good to us and hold space for those who are struggling, and try not to judge. I know it's hard at times because we have been through the ringer, but try hard not to judge others on where they are on their path and let them figure it out, because they will. And if they don't, we can't really help anybody until, and I think that's the picture I put on here, we can open the door, but we can't force anybody to come into the room. So hold your light, hold your space, but don't wait around for somebody else to change. It is, there's a lot. There's 8 billion people on this planet. Be the change you wish to see in yourself, in your world, in your reality. And it will happen. It really will, truly will. So that's what I have for us for now. And we are gardeners. We can plant seeds. That's right. Exactly. I love that saying too, that they thought that they could bury you. They didn't know you were a seed and that you were starting to grow. That's a good one too, because that was one of the first little blurbs that came to me when I was abruptly awoken by life and I lost everything, and I felt like everybody was trying to bury me, like really, really deep into the abyss. But hence, I am still here, alive and breathing. So I love you all. Thank you for joining me. Thanks for being here. Have a great rest of your evening. And I hope to get jumping on the Zodiac this week. I'm kind of taking each day as it comes. Thank you. My eyes are starting to get a little better. So thanks, Paula. One day at a time, And I do want to put out there, like, prayers for Clay, my grandson. He goes through some really painful tests tomorrow for his rash and hives and stuff. And he's only 1.5. So, all the babies that are going out there that are going through suffering in physical pain or any of that stuff, is let's just put our energy out for all of them. So love you guys all. Take care. Good night. Bye. I don't know how to turn this off. Okay.